season debut last night against the Golden State Warriors, and it was not pretty. All right, the Lakers were beaten 121 to 114. And look, I'm not going to use the word disturbing because, it's game number one. Rob, we've covered this league long enough where you don't overreact to one game. But I'll just say this. What was interesting was that Anthony Davis and LeBron James were outstanding.
They played great.
Yeah. Anthony Davis, Rob, 33 and 11 boards, 33 points, looking like we thought he'd look last year, right? Coming off that championship. Like, okay, this dude wants to be in the MVP conversation, right? LeBron, I've rarely seen LeBron shoot the basketball like that. Now, he cooled down a little as the game went on in the fourth quarter, finished 5 for 11 from 3, Rob, but he was on fire initially. And if he's going to shoot like that, then all bets are off. But he had 34 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists.
They combined for 67, Chris. You take that any night.
And 22 boards, absolutely. And Steph Curry for the Warriors didn't shoot it well at all. 5 for 21, 2 of 8 from 3, 21 points. He had a triple-double, so he played a good all-around game.
But he just didn't shoot like he – right.
Exactly.
5 for 21 is a bad night. Really
he might have, 6 games like that this year, Rob. And so – but the fact is, despite all of that, the Lakers still lost. And so, Rob, give me your reaction. I've been talking about it all day on different TV shows, but give me your reaction, and then I'll go into kind of my analysis of what went down. And a lot of it might revolve around Westbrook if you want to go there.
I mean, this is what people talked about. Remember when they had the pushback from LeBron and from other Lakers, and, we know what we're doing. This will work out. And people were saying Westbrook's not a fit. And he was what? Minus 23 when he was out there? I mean,
minus 23 in 35 minutes.
In 35 minutes, minus 23. And I'm not.
If you want this, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, right?
Yeah,
and four turnovers.
It just was like he didn't fit in, and there's a big adjustment period, Chris, that has to happen. He's used to having the ball, used to being that first or second option, and now, I mean, with LeBron and AD, you might be the fourth option. I mean, that's something that you got to get used to. He ain't Carmelo and 37, who's happy to still be out there. Right. You know what I mean? He's in a different mindset, so that's got to be a little rough on him. But Charles Barkley said something that's true. Who's playing defense? I mean, that was another thing. They dominated the Lakers in the paint, the Warriors. And so you question. So a lot of the question marks I had going in, I saw, and now this team, and if you could poo-poo the preseason, they still haven't won a game. They haven't won a game yet for whatever reason. And this is going to take some time to get together. And then this is the reason why I can't pick them out of the West, because I do believe there's a chemistry thing. They got to fit these pieces together. And then, Chris, the injury factor, which I'm not hoping on that anybody gets hurt, but this is what happens to older players. We see it all the time.
Right.
And LeBron's been hurt 2 of his 3 years, and this guy's been an Iron Man his entire career, and he's been hurt 2 of the last 3 years in L.A. Anthony Davis has been hurt every year except for the bubble year when they didn't play for 4 months, right? So he always gets hurt. And then you got older players. So the red flags and the question marks are from day one, and they got a lot of improvement to do. And I think most teams coming in, Chris, to play the Lakers aren't going to be afraid of them. Like not even with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis and LeBron got off, and they still won in L.A. Like, oh, okay. We see the formula.
Yeah, let me first give some props to the Golden State Warriors because they look good. And I know nobody expects much from them this year. We don't know what Klay Thompson's going to play like. He's not only coming off the Achilles, but the knee injury as well. So he's got a lot to bounce back from.
It's been 2 years. Like, that's a long time.
I personally think he's going to play well, but, we have to see it. But they did a great job, Rob, of moving their players and the basketball. And so they looked really good. I think they're going to be good. I'm not saying they're going to win the West, but I think they're going to be better than people think. And this kid, Belitza, I don't know if you picked him up, Rob, but Belitza off the bench. Now, he's been in the league. He's not a spring chicken. He's 33 years old. Been in Sacramento. Been
I
in
want a
Minnesota.
Belitza
He's
pizza.
been around.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a great little addition. He's a perfect fit for that lineup. He's 6'10", so he's big. He can kind of guard big men. But he's a nice little playmaker, can shoot it, got finesse game. So he was a good pickup for them. But they look good. Jordan Poole, the second-year player, he played really well for them and had 20 points. So they look good. The bottom line is the Warriors look good. But getting back to the Lakers, and Poole's a third-year player, I'm sorry, but he had a nice game. Getting back to the Lakers, I'm not going to overreact to one game, but last night, yeah, they couldn't do a lot of things. Like, they couldn't guard. For some reason, they started DeAndre Jordan. I get a lot of their players were injured. You know, Kendrick Nunn, Wayne Ellington, not household names by any stretch, but they went with DeAndre Jordan. And the fact is, Rob, they couldn't guard the much smaller Warriors on the perimeter. So the Warriors are running around, a lot of ball movement, player movement. They had 30 assists on 41 baskets, and the Lakers just couldn't stick with them. And the Lakers led it for most of the first three quarters. The only reason they led, though, is because the Warriors were missing open shots. And then once they got hot in the fourth quarter, that's when they pulled away. They scored 38 points in the fourth. So the Lakers had trouble guarding, and if they go big, I don't think they're going to be able to go big that much. But Anthony Davis is going to need to move to the 5. LeBron, theoretically, to the 4. I say theoretically because Russell Westbrook, Rob's only the point guard in name only. That's it. LeBron is still handling the ball more than anybody else, as he should, because you don't want Russell being the primary decision maker. But, Rob, to your point about Westbrook, he's going to be the third fiddle. And this is not a big three where they're all going to average over 20 points.
Right.
It's not going to be the Nets with Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, or the Warriors with KD, Steph, and Clay. I think Westbrook's numbers, they're going to be way down from what we're accustomed to seeing from him. I'm thinking 16, 17 points a game, which is fine. And he has to understand your legacy is secure. All right, the only thing you can do is add a championship. Heck, averaging a triple-double and not winning a ring wouldn't help his legacy one iota. Right. Averaging 16, 17 points, 6 assists, or maybe 7 assists, 6, 7 rebounds, that would enhance your legacy a lot more than putting up the numbers you have in the past but not winning it. I think, Rob, they're announcing the top 75 players over the next few days in NBA history. I expect his name to be mentioned. I don't know if, they came out with something today, but I don't know if he's been mentioned. But I expect him to be mentioned and listed on that list of top 75 players. So his legacy's secure. So he's got to not worry about that, Rob, and play the role. I think that's what he needs to do. You got to go. You have to run through LeBron and AD. And everybody else, Melo, Kent Bazemore, all these Trevor Ariza and Westbrook and the rest, you've got to play